Welcome to the second part of our online parent education series on the topic of supporting your child that is struggling with depression. Again, this series was developed by our school social workers, and in the first part of the series, we talked about just kind of a basic overview of depression, what it is, what to look for. And now we want to move forward in talking about the good news that depression is treatable and there is hope. 5 things that we want to encourage you to do as parents are to 1, educate your student on how to take care of themselves, educate them on safe coping skills they can use. 2, be a role model for them in taking care of yourself. 3, keep an eye out for signs, watch. 4, seek treatment for them. And then 5, collaborate with mental health providers and the school. We're going to break down each of these and give a little more information. So when it comes to educating your student about how to take care of themselves, there are 10 different coping skills that we want to share with you guys and encourage you to share with your children. The first is exercise. So exercise is very beneficial when it comes to treating depression. A lot of people actually use it almost like an antidepressant medication on a daily basis because it releases that feel-good brain chemical that eases depression. So things like neurotransmitters and endorphins, and it actually reduces the immune system chemicals that are responsible for worsening depression. So it's really a win-win situation. If there's any way that you can incorporate exercise into your child's daily routine, it's very beneficial. Nutrition is also a big thing to keep in mind. A healthy diet is going to help you gain more energy, and it's going to improve your mood, help you maintain your weight, and it's going to put you in a position to build on the foundation to take action on the other strategies that we're going to give you to combat depression, including exercise. So this looks like having 3 healthy meals a day, drinking lots of water. And so as a parent, you can support your child by making sure that there are nutritious foods in the home, teaching them, what those nutritious foods are and how to manage that. Sleep is also a big thing. Too little sleep actually makes depression symptoms worse. So you want to think of yourself as a phone and sleep as the charger. You need to plug in every night, and teens actually need 8 to 10 hours a night. Sadly, a lot of our students are not getting that many hours, and we really want to encourage you as parents to help make sure they have a routine where they're getting that much sleep. Again, we were talking about keeping a routine. So depression can really strip structure from your life because one day really just melts into the next. So setting a gentle schedule for yourself can be really helpful. And, healing for your child as they have things to look forward to and they kind of know what's coming next. Setting realistic goals is also really important because depression can often make you feel really purposeless and hopeless. So setting small daily goals can really serve as a motivation, and it gives you small things to celebrate. So maybe a goal would be that you incorporate exercise in every day. So just going for a walk with your child every day. Things like that can be really helpful. You want to be careful not to set goals that are going to actually cause more harm than good. So if the goal is too large and lofty, that can actually increase or worsen your child's symptoms of depression because they might start feeling, like they're worthless and that they can't succeed. Avoiding harmful substances is a big one. Like we talked about in the last video, a lot of students are self-medicating for symptoms of depression, and substance use actually only enhances the issue and worsens the symptoms of depression. Once that high goes away, once the substance leaves your body, you still are struggling with the same underlying mental health issues. And so setting those firm boundaries with your child and getting them the mental health treatment that they need, and getting the substance abuse treatment that they need if this is an issue for them. Being mindful includes stopping. We use the STOP acronym. So stop, take a breath, observe your thoughts, and proceed with something that will support you in the moment. So encouraging students to use mindfulness. This is a big trend right now, and something that you can definitely research more is how to use concepts of mindfulness and helping your child do relaxation exercises at home, in the car, things like that. Challenging negative thoughts is also a way you can support your child. So When your student has a negative thought, you can gently ask, and again, we don't ever want to be, aggressively challenging them, but asking them gently, what evidence do I have that I believe this is true? So, what evidence do I have to believe that this situation I'm dealing with or concerned about is actually true? Because sometimes when we're struggling with depression, it can be easy to jump to conclusions that aren't true. So we can kind of be that voice of reason and guide our students in helping them see things differently. Again, we never want to, disregard something they're concerned about or make them feel like they're being belittled, but we do want to lovingly come and ask them to really see things in a realistic perspective. As a parent, it's really important for us to be aware of screen time. Screens are at our kids' fingertips all the time, whether it be phone, computer, television. And unfortunately, screen time really fosters isolation. It can foster envy, insecurity, and poor self-esteem, as well as keeping us from engaging in these other activities that we've talked about that are actually going to enhance our mental health. And then lastly, do what you love. We really want to encourage kids to be kids and try new things. We want to try to keep in mind that, what are those things that they're doing when you don't see them exhibiting signs of depression, and encourage them to engage more in those activities. So these are just a few ideas. And again, if you're seeking treatment for your kid, which we're going to talk about more, the therapist that you're working with can give you even more ideas of what this can look like. It's really important to emphasize that parents are a model for their children. Your student is always watching you to see how you take care of yourself. So if you struggle with symptoms of depression, it's really important for you to seek treatment for yourself. Because if you're struggling, but you're telling your child that they need to go to therapy, they're not going to be open to going if they don't see that you're willing to go yourself. So by taking care of yourself, by practicing those safe coping skills that we just talked about in the last few slides, they're going to see this and they're going to see the lifestyle that comes from it and the healthy living that can be part of their life as well. As a parent, we encourage you to watch. Keep an eye out for the red flags that we talked about in the first video, and keep an eye out for sudden changes in behaviors. You are the person that's going to know your child best. You live with them, you know the ins and outs. And then seek treatment. There are professionals that have specific training in how to treat depression, and they can help you investigate medication or other natural alternatives if you're not open to medication. So we would say first line of defense is schedule a doctor's appointment to rule out any other medical causes, and then ask them or a school social worker or your counselor, the school counselor, for referrals for a local therapist that has experience with treating clients with depression. There's lots of people out there, especially in the Tri-Valley community, that can specifically help with this issue. We want to encourage you to be prepared to support your child by engaging in the therapy with them. A lot of times, especially with depression, it's really important to have, components of family therapy, because a lot of times some of the underlying factors can be stressors at home, and the parents really need to be involved in figuring out what changes need to be made in order for us to get to a healthy point. And then lastly, collaboration. We want to encourage you, once you're seeking mental health treatment for your student, to work with the mental health professional, the school counselor, and your student to support your student both at home and in the classroom. We are often asked, okay, I'm willing to collaborate, but what does that look like? So in short, collaboration can look like, we talked about earlier, participating in meetings with the therapist and with the school when there's concerns about your child. Communicating what you're seeing at home, because a lot of times we're just seeing specific behaviors at school or in the counseling room. Maybe your child exhibits one way in the classroom but differently at home, and so we want to have that background information from you. It's really valuable. And then lastly, we encourage you to sign a release of information between the therapist that's treating your child and the school counselor, so that they can talk back and forth and share information that would be beneficial for supporting the student in the school environment. Thank you so much for your time, and we hope that this was a beneficial use of your time and that you walk away feeling like you have some concrete tools that you can use in encouraging your child that might be struggling with depression. We want to ask and encourage you to go back to the Google Doc that you originally clicked on this link from and look at the other resources that are available there. We have several other videos and handouts and resource pages We have a whole list of mental health professionals in the area that you can seek out. And so we encourage you to take advantage of that. And we hope that this has been helpful.